Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. Tyreek Hill has never been the type to back down from a challenge. Then when it comes to off-the-field antics, he knows exactly how to deliver a clapback that gets the internet talking. This time, his target was the Indianapolis Colts, and the battleground was social media. After the Colts released their much-anticipated 2025 schedule reveal with a Minecraft-themed video, it wasn't long before controversy erupted. One particular clip raised eyebrows, and not in a good way. It depicted a dolphin meant to represent Hill's Miami Dolphins getting arrested by the Coast Guard. The obvious jab referenced Hill's real-life run-in with law enforcement last year. But rather than firing back with anger or legal threats, Hill did what he does best. He got creative, sarcastic, and made the moment entirely his own. His short video response was pure comedic timing and internet savvy, and within minutes it started gaining traction across the sports world. In Hill's clapback video posted on X, formerly Twitter, he's seen calmly sitting at a laptop, clicking away. The caption on the post reads, "Colts social team posting their schedule release video. Do you owe any approval?" It's a perfect parody of the situation, mocking the Colts' apparent lack of oversight before publishing their now-deleted video. The clip ends with Hill shutting the laptop, wiping his hands like he just finished a job well done, and walking off with a subtle swagger. No yelling, no direct insults. Just a perfectly executed mic drop moment in the form of a meme-worthy clip. It was quintessential Tyreek Hill, equal parts bold, cheeky, and cool under fire. It also helped shift the narrative, turning him from the butt of the joke into the one in control of it. But to truly appreciate the weight of Hill's response, we have to rewind the tape. When the Colts first released their schedule video, it was widely praised for creativity. Using Minecraft, a massively popular game among younger fans, the team animated each of their 18 weekly matchups in a playful, blocky style. At first glance, it was the perfect marriage of modern digital media and sports culture. But things took a turn when fans reached the Week 1 reveal. There, in an attempt at humor, the video showed an animated dolphin in handcuffs being hauled off by the Coast Guard. It didn't take long for people to draw the connection to Hill's September arrest before a game against the Jaguars. What was supposed to be a clever Easter egg quickly spiraled into a PR mess. Hill's Tweetdown 24 incident was no small moment. Just hours before kickoff at Hard Rock Stadium, he was pulled over and detained near the venue. Cell phone footage quickly spread online, showing Hill in handcuffs beside a police cruiser. The news went viral instantly, with speculation flying about whether he'd missed the game. Eventually, Hill was released, made it to the field, and played. The legal aftermath wasn't dramatic. Citations for careless driving and not wearing a seatbelt were tossed out after the officers failed to show in court. But the image of the superstar wide receiver in cuffs stuck around in the minds of fans and media. So when the Colts decided to poke fun at that, it crossed a line that many believe should have been avoided altogether. The backlash came quickly. Social media lit up with criticism of the Colts creative team. Fans and analysts alike questioned the tastefulness of referencing someone's legal trouble in what was meant to be a fun, family-friendly promotional video. The team initially remained silent, letting the controversy simmer for a few hours. But as the noise grew louder, the Colts decided to pull the entire schedule video down. It was a clear admission that they'd gone too far. Then came the statement. Issued via NFL insider Ari Meyroff, the Colts apologized not just to Hill, but also to Microsoft, the creators of Minecraft, indicating they'd used assets or concepts they may not have had full rights to. The combination of copyright concerns and the Hill reference made it a double whammy. In the apology, the Colts wrote, "We removed our schedule release video because it exceeded our rights with Microsoft and included an insensitive clip involving Dolphins WR Tyreek Hill. We sincerely apologize to Microsoft and Tyreek." The wording was carefully chosen, but the message was clear. The team admitted to crossing the line, both legally and ethically. Still, by then, the damage had been done. Screenshots and clips from the original video were already circulating online. And while the Colts tried to put out the fire, Hill fanned the flames with a smile. His video response didn't just address the moment, it owned it. It was a reminder that in today's sports world, the court of public opinion often decides who gets the last word, and Hill definitely got the last word. His video went viral, racking up retweets and likes in the thousands within hours. Teammates, fans, and even players from other teams chimed in, praising Hill's sense of humor and his ability to flip the script. It was a textbook example of how to take a negative and turn it into a moment of triumph. Instead of issuing an angry response or threatening legal action, Hill let his personality shine. That's part of what makes him such a magnetic figure. In the NFL, love him or hate him, Tyreek Hill knows how to command attention and control the narrative. It's the kind of instinct you can't teach, and it's why he's become one of the most talked about names in the league. For the Colts, the incident serves as a cautionary tale about content creation in the digital age. What seems funny or clever in the brainstorming room can quickly become problematic when viewed by millions of people. Creative teams need to think about context, tone, and potential consequences, especially when dealing with real-world issues like arrests, controversies, or sensitive topics. It's one thing to have fun with a rivalry, it's another to veer into personal territory. And in Hill's case, the timing couldn't have been worse. The season hasn't even started yet, and already the Colts found themselves in hot water. A schedule release should build hype, not spark outrage. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins and their fan base, the incident has only further solidified Hill's status as a team leader. His ability to take heat, turn it into humor, and walk away with his head high is exactly the kind of energy Miami needs heading into the season. It's no secret that the Dolphins have big expectations this year. With Hill leading the charge, they're not just aiming for the playoffs, they're looking to make a statement. And if their star wide receiver's latest social media moment is any indication, they're not afraid to have a little fun while doing it. The message is clear, take your shot, but be ready for Hill to fire back, smarter, faster, and funnier. In the end, this wasn't just a social media spat, it was a masterclass in how to handle controversy in the spotlight. Tyreek Hill turned what could have been a damaging moment into a viral victory. He didn't need to rant or rage, he let the video do the talking. And in doing so, he reminded everyone that athletes today are more than just performers on the field. They're brands, personalities, and media tacticians. The Colts may have started a joke, but Hill finished it on his terms. And as the new NFL season approaches, one thing's for sure. Tyreek Hill isn't just playing the game, he's rewriting the rules of it. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? It's not every day that a bombshell like this drops in the NFL world, but when it does, the shockwaves are immediate and widespread. Tyreek Hill, the Miami Dolphins star wide receiver and one of the fastest men to ever grace a football field, has reportedly made it clear he no longer wants to play alongside quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Let that sink in. This isn't just any wideout complaining about chemistry. This is Tyreek Hill, the man who called Tua one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league not long ago, now seemingly turning his back on the very player who helped revitalize his career post-Kansas City. The NFL community is stunned. Dolphins fans are panicking, and the locker room dynamic in Miami has entered full-blown crisis mode. What caused this fallout? Is there more than what meets the eye? Let's unpack it all. Just a couple of seasons ago, the Dolphins were considered one of the most electric offensive teams in the league. The duo of Tua and Tyreek was thrilling to watch. Quick slants, deep bombs, yards after the catch, and most importantly, points on the board. Tua, once doubted for his arm strength and durability, seemed to silence critics thanks to Hill's incredible ability to stretch the field and turn routine passes into highlight reel plays. The narrative was clear. Hill was the perfect weapon for Tua's accuracy and timing-based approach. But somewhere along the line, that narrative has unraveled. Whispers of miscommunication and frustration started to grow louder last season, especially during games where the offense sputtered. And now, with Hill reportedly stating he won't line up with Tua again, it seems those whispers were just the beginning of a much louder implosion. Insiders close to the Dolphins organization have hinted that the tension between the two players has been brewing for a while. hidden under the surface by media-trained interviews and carefully crafted press conference soundbites. Some point to a critical stretch late last season when the Dolphins' offense failed to click during pivotal games, including the playoffs. Hill, known for his competitive fire, was visibly frustrated on the sidelines more than once. And, although he never publicly blamed Tua, body language told a different story. Sources claim that during off-season workouts, the two barely spoke outside of what was necessary for drills. That's a stark contrast to the camaraderie they once showcased on Instagram Lives and in media appearances. The once dynamic duo appears to have hit an irreconcilable wall, and that could spell disaster for Miami's immediate future. Tyreek Hill's frustration allegedly came to a boiling point during a recent private team event, where he reportedly told Dolphins officials and teammates that he's done playing with Tua. The specifics of the conversation remain under wraps, but reports suggest that Hill questioned Tua's decision-making, leadership presence, and most alarmingly, his consistency in big game moments. It's the kind of blunt honesty that fractures locker rooms and forces organizations into making painful decisions. And it's not like Hill is a role player. He's a cornerstone, a game changer, and easily one of the most influential voices in that locker room. When someone of his stature speaks up like this, it forces a reckoning, not just for the quarterback in question, but for the coaching staff, front office, and the entire team's identity moving forward. For Tua, this is yet another moment of adversity in a career already filled with highs and lows. He came into the league with sky-high expectations after a storied college career at Alabama, only to face questions about his size, health, and arm strength. And just when it seemed like he'd found his rhythm in the NFL, thanks in large part to Mike McDaniel's offensive system and the arrival of Tyreek Hill, now he's dealing with a very public falling out with his top target. It's hard not to feel for him. Despite his flaws, Tua has always been seen as a team-first guy, humble, hardworking, and respectful. But in the cutthroat world of professional football, relationships matter, especially the one between QB and WR1. And if that relationship is broken beyond repair, the Dolphins may have no choice but to make a drastic move. The timing of this revelation couldn't be worse for Miami. With training camp around the corner and expectations high after back-to-back playoff appearances, this kind of internal discord throws everything into uncertainty. Should the Dolphins trade Hill and double down on Tua as their franchise QB? Or should they entertain the unthinkable, moving on from Tua to keep their superstar wide receiver happy? Neither option comes without risks. Trading Hill could gut the offense and alienate fans who adore his explosive style. Letting go of Tua would mean resetting the most important position in football again and hoping they find someone who clicks better with Hill. Either path shakes the very foundation of what the Dolphins have been building. On whichever decision they make, the fallout will be massive. Let's not forget how expensive this situation is either. Tyreek Hill is under a massive contract, one that pays him among the top at his position. And Tua is entering a contract year with discussions of a potential extension already heating up before this drama erupted. If the front office was leaning toward offering Tua a long-term deal, this news may force them to reevaluate that stance. And if Hill is truly adamant about not catching another pass from Tua, his trade value, while still high, could take a slight hit due to perceived locker room baggage. It's a lose-lose if not handled delicately. And for a team that's been trying to catch up to the Bills and Chiefs in the AFC pecking order, this kind of drama is the last thing they needed heading into what should be a pivotal season. Fans have already started to pick sides, flooding social media with heated debates. Some argue that Tua is the heart and soul of the offense and deserves the franchise's full support. Others believe Tyreek Hill is too valuable to let walk, especially given how uniquely he opens up the playbook. There's even a third camp, those blaming the coaching staff for letting things deteriorate this far. Whatever the case, it's clear that Dolphins Nation is divided, and while fans argue online, the real battle is taking place behind closed doors in team meetings, private conversations, and front office strategy sessions. This isn't just about football anymore. It's about culture, leadership, and whether a team can overcome internal fractures to chase greatness or collapse under the weight of its own dysfunction. From a broader NFL perspective, this situation sets a dangerous precedent. If one of the league's best receivers can force a potential quarterback change just by voicing frustration, what message does that send to other stars? On the flip side, if the Dolphins choose to back their QB and move on from Hill, will other players think twice before signing long-term deals in Miami? The ripple effects of this saga go beyond South Beach. Teams around the league are watching closely, agents are taking notes, and media outlets are circling for any scrap of new info. The Dolphins, a team once lauded for their offensive creativity and locker room vibes, now find themselves in a very different spotlight, one that burns hotter with every new headline and rumor. In the end, only time will reveal how deep this fracture goes. Is this just a heat-of-the-moment outburst that can be repaired with some open dialogue and a few team bonding sessions? Or is this the beginning of the end for the Tua Hill era in Miami? One thing's for sure, something's gotta give. You can't have your quarterback and your star receiver on opposite ends of the locker room. Unity is non-negotiable in football, especially when the margins between winning and losing are razor thin. The Dolphins have a major decision to make, and whatever they choose, it will shape the franchise for years to come. So buckle up, folks. The storm in Miami has only just begun. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!